morning. Welcome from sunny San Francisco. We're still here, uh, enjoying. It's so beautiful here. I can't stand it. The biggest weird thing is, and I think I said this last week. Everything's built on a really severe angle, so you just can't like go down the street and get to somewhere. It's like an adventure, getting anywhere. But the most exciting thing that well, I shouldn't say the most exciting thing, the most unusual thing we did this week was we went to the French Laundry. And if you're from the States, uh, it's a pretty cool place to go. But before I do that, I'm going to say hi to Mel and Leanne and our allotted chef. Uh, the allotted chef might have really enjoyed that. I've never been to, well, actually, we went to uh, one Michelin. Hi, Andy. Welcome. We've had some amazing food since we got out here. They are not at a lack for really good restaurants, but the French Laundry. Oh my word, um, it's an event, and you will never have service in a restaurant like you have there. I mean, aside from the hi Nancy, hi Anna, hi Margaret. Uh, I've heard of it because of a YouTuber anti-chef. Okay. Well, I'm now a Thomas Keller big time fan. This was it's like a tasting menu. So it's like little, I want to call it small plates. Um oh my goodness. And the service, I've never been in a three Michelin star restaurant before. And I'll tell you, they are not overrated. It was spectacular. And we were given a tour of the kitchen after, which was incredible. And I mean, I was really looking, and I mean, it was spectacular. So I might put some pictures together. We only took a few of it because there actually were kind of working as this was all going on. But oh, if you can ever do it, it's in Napa. It's in Napa, so it's a little north. Let me think. Is it north or south? It's north of San Francisco, just a little bit, and it's not. It's a very expensive restaurant, but you only have to go there once in your life to really fully appreciate how wonderful it is. So, and then we ate at another one. There was a one Michelin star, which was fabulous. It was an Indian fusion restaurant, and it was just delightful. So, if you ever are out this way, those would be two that I would absolutely recommend. How's the weather? Oh no, you're talking to Rob. Okay. Um, okay. Okay. So let's move on. Oh, by the way, I have a 3-month-old grandson that I've met on this trip, and 2.5-year-old. And I don't show pictures because, as I would probably do, my daughter and son-in-law don't want the kids on the internet or on social media at all. So I'm sorry that you won't see pictures of them, but trust me, they're absolutely adorable. And yeah, they're just yummy. They're so sweet and cute. Let's see. Andy is saying, I think I can do this. I think I have gone back. Yeah, I'm going to try to do this. iPad is not quite as nice as my PC, but we went to a restaurant in Nice, France. That was amazing for a Michelin star years ago. They got one a few months after we went. That's the closest we've come to dining like, yeah, but isn't it different? I mean, I really didn't think it, I don't know what I expected. But I'd heard such, when you hear about a good movie uh, and you get a whole lot of hype about the movie, and then you go and you go, was it? Because your expectations get so incredibly high. I was not disappointed. So yeah, it's, there's something to this Michelin star thing. Um, anyway, so gardening. Any of you still out there uh, working hard in your gardens? We've got, I think, just a few more pumpkins outside. I've got one more uh, lot of potatoes to. Oh, that's better. I'm a little further away. Thank you. Um, got one more lot of potatoes to dig up. Just planted some more lettuce and some chicory because I think they both like, at least the chicory, I think likes a little nip of frost, and at some point they're going to get that. We are running back in Michigan, running temps that I really kind of can't believe here in the middle of October, because usually things are really dropping quite quickly, but they are not. So I think we are in for a nice warm fall. Oh, Nancy Hoffman is still getting zucchinis. Wow. Now I said I was not going to plant some squash. I did a video about 10 things I wasn't going to plant. At the last minute, I planted, it was an Italian summer squash that has like ribbing in it. So it's not just a green zucchini, which, we all know those don't give up. Um, and they didn't produce very many for me. So I think I might try something different next year because I really do enjoy them when they're tiny. When they're really small, it can go in a salad really easily. I'm not a fan of the big, huge, and I think they're called marrows. So I don't know if that's actually, and I think that's more of a UK term. So any of you that are from the UK, if a marrow is different from a zucchini, let me know. I thought it was just a really big zucchini, overgrown zucchini. Uh, oh, Andy's uh, Christmas potatoes uh, got got the blight, so he's not sure if those are gonna make it. I get that. Yeah, Nancy Hoffman agrees. Yeah, small zucchinis to me are a whole different animal um, than the big ones because you've got to pull out all the seeds and you've got to. I mean, I find it not necessarily. Although we did get enough that I'm gonna get some zucchini bread. I think when we get home. Uh, sorry, I realized I could use my normal streaming uh, on my iPad. It's just a little more difficult for me to manipulate because it doesn't work on a mouse. Works with this little pencil. There we go. So I think most of us are kind of coming to the end of, well, we're definitely coming to the end of our summer garden. That's pretty much done. I think everyone's got their tomatoes out, and I am actually just removing my peppers because I've had too many. So we're pulling out the plants and uh, harvesting them for everything we can get, and using it to plant garlic, using the ground to plant garlic, And I'm going to try overwintering Walla Walla onions because I hear that's possible in my area. I've never done that, so that will be nice. And I have hundreds of tulip bulbs coming. So I need to do a little planning on where I'm going to put all of those. But I expect a really pretty showing come spring. So what are you guys all doing? Leanne, let's see, Leanne got her garlic in last week. Now I'm just staring at the Brussels sprouts, hoping they get bigger. Yeah, I even had those yanked because they had gotten quite big as plants, but the sprouts were, oh my goodness, they were so small. And I know if we have 2 weeks before a deep freeze, I'm going to be really impressed. So I had those pulled because um, I just have more stuff that I want to get in for overwinter rather than hang on to those. But I was hopeful, and we got a pretty good white fly infestation, which is never a good thing to get. Uh, so we try to. I just want to use that ground for my garlic. So this is our last week. I want to say we're going to have one more live before I'm gone. Next Wednesday, we'll be alive, and I'll have a guest. And yeah, and then we will be leaving San Francisco bright and early Thursday morning, heading. Uh, let's see, where are we heading to? We're heading to the Grand. Oh no, we're heading to. It's not Yosemite. Oh my, I'll have to think. We're heading to where all the big redwoods are, and it's another national park. So that will be great fun. I understand these redwoods. I mean, I've seen pictures of them, and people are dwarfed. But I imagine to see it in person is quite a different thing. So I'm very excited about that. And then we're going to the Grand Canyon, and I will take you guys there with us. That I think is going to be a really spectacular thing to see. So, excuse me, are you guys, is anybody still harvesting anything? Any harvest still coming in? I think I'm going to have my last pepper harvest this week, and those plants are going to get composted. And I've really begun composting in place because for me that's a really good way to do it, and I don't have to worry about attracting anything that I don't really want to attract to my backyard. So that's a good thing. We're a lot of Brussels sprout chat. Is the hope to get those for Christmas? Because I wouldn't be able to harvest them that late. I need a little more. I need to get them out a little bit early. Okay, the allotted chef harvested the last of tomatoes yesterday. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good season. If you still had some that you harvested yesterday, I may have some cherry tomatoes still in, but again, haven't seen the garden for a couple weeks. Yeah. Andy's, let me see if I can pull that up. Look at that. Okay. Late sowing of burlati beans are drying. Bit of cabbage. That's about it now. Yeah, I think even if you can overwinter, and correct me if I'm wrong here, even in the UK where you can essentially garden year round if you're in the right spot in the UK, I guess. Um, yeah, yes, you can have it in the ground, but it grows very slow. It's not like you're really. It's more like you're getting a bit of a jump on spring. Uh, at least that's what has been my understanding. Um, which still is nice that you can get a little jump on spring there, right? Margaret Alice harvested the last of the courgettes, which is zucchini for those in the U.S. Still got some beetroot and kale and cabbage and swedes. Okay, I that's the nice thing that you can continue to pick those until spring. Our ground freezes incredibly hard, so we can't do that. I just had the Swedes all pulled, or they're going to be pulled, I think, this week. And what else you were saying about beetroot? Oh, kale. We just planted some new kale. Could be kind of tricky. We'll see. It may. We might have missed the window on that one, but I'm trying to do this all remotely right now. So sometimes, things don't get on my to-doist list and then they don't get done. Uh, oh, okay. You're in New Mexico. Keeps bringing me tomatoes. Yeah, you guys have some. You don't. I mean, you stay warm. I think almost year round, don't you? You're quite south, which that's great. We were in Nevada this trip, and we were down by Reno or up by Reno, depending on how you look at it. Um, and I was so impressed with um, the landscape. I didn't expect Nevada. I mean, I feel like once we got into like South Dakota, it just all became gorgeous all the time. But very different from what we have in the Midwest, which we have a hill here and there, but not like you guys. Um, oh, I have fennel left too. Anna is saying she has some fennel left. Lettuce, expecting it all to be underwater by the morning. Oh no. Yeah, my fennel is still doing beautifully. I have it in a green stalk. Oh, excuse me, on my deck, and it's like in the perfect spot. I don't know how I did that, but I think it was more by an accident, like a lucky accident, than terribly good planning. Uh, Leanne has 1 year. I was caught out, and my Brussels froze. I just left them until Christmas Day and cooked them anyway. Uh, the mother-in-law was happy with them. Texture wasn't as bad as I anticipated. Well, let's think about it. I mean, Brussels is one of those vegetables that is sold frozen a lot. So I imagine that would be, but it's kind of funny and good for you for taking advantage of your outdoor freezer. Because, if you're like most of us, by the time harvest is done, um, freezers just don't have any more room left. So I'm kind of running. I have a upstairs, just a regular, bottom freezer on a refrigerator, and then I have a side by side in our basement, and they're both kind of packed right now. Okay. Oh, thanks, Andy. Yeah, he's saying, yeah, they grow slow, unless they're already in. Okay, thanks. That's kind of what I was thinking. Uh, Margaret Alice is harvesting burlati beans, runners, and brahildi for the beans only. Brahildi is it like a purple bean? I think Tony has grown those a few times. Hey, speaking of Tony, did you see his video yesterday? That he is cancer free and he's looking so good. And he's looking, I mean, his voice is back. I can tell there's a little lilt in his step. So we're all just so thrilled that he's doing so well. Uh, Wonderful man. Uh, okay. Yeah, I desert, high desert is a new climate, a new understanding of that climate for me. But I know at night it gets incredibly cold. My daughter went to Caltech, which is in Pasadena, and they decided, I don't know, one night they were not one night, but they were going on like a little road trip, and they were all thinking, oh, we're going to the desert, um, and none of them, and most of them were not from an area that is high desert, and they did not bring warm clothes, and it was not a good experience for them. So they learned quickly that yes, it gets cold here at night. Uh, yeah, such good news about Tony. Yeah, he's a good guy, and I'm so happy he's on the mend. He is really on the mend. Yeah. Uh, so yeah, that's fabulous news. Okay. So is anybody thinking? Oh, okay. Wait, Margaret Ellis answered my question. Thank you. Brahildi is the purple pods, and beans are cream and purple. Oh, that's pretty. The weather caused them to seed immediately, but at least I've got a harvest. Sure, I think if you can, like it's kind of like cilantro for me, because cilantro will bolt so quickly once it gets any kind of heat. Um, but you can grow it for the coriander seed. So I always feel like, well, there's worse things, right? It's still nice to get a harvest, even if it's just seeds. Uh, yeah, Rob is saying that Brussels and parsnips are a little better after the first frost. Yeah, I probably could have tried leaving a few of my Brussels in, but I'd really rather get my garlic in for next year and try overwintering these onions and leaving some kale in, because kale sometimes will go through the winter for me, sometimes will not. And it'll bolt really quickly though come spring, but that's fine because I'll have other ones to get in. Uh, oh, Mel has ginger growing. Yes, I am growing a traditional ginger, and I'm also growing a cardamom ginger, which I understand, excuse me, um, has like a cardamom flavor to it, which I thought would be wonderful. So I'll kind of let you guys know how that turns out. Yeah, I've never had that, but I love the flavor of cardamom, And I thought, wow, if we can get that with ginger, that'd be great. But yeah, do you like to grow ginger, Mel? I mean, I find it incredibly easy to grow. It's kind of like a potato. You put it in and you just kind of care for it. I think mines are going to need to be coming out soon because they do not appreciate the cold. They're definitely hot weather growers, but it's nice having a little knob or two of fresh ginger coming out. Any exciting stuff that you guys are thinking about for this next growing season? Or is there anything that you've learned from this growing season that you're going to apply to next season? I don't think I may not grow peppers next year, which would be the first year in a long time I didn't. Or I might just grow fresh eating peppers because this was a blockbuster year for me for peppers. So I think I might just grow a few fresh eating sweet peppers and call it a day. I also may really readjust my brassica growing if I can't. Um, my husband Kevin he kind of designed these boxes for me with some very good screening on them to keep the white butterflies out. So if he builds those, I will grow some brassicas again. If he doesn't, I don't know. I may just take a year's break because it just kills me when they decimate things as they do. Oh, Anna's saying that she tried ginger, but that it got infested with red spider mites. Huh. Oh, I'm sorry. I knock on wood. I've not had any pest issues yet, but I keep moving it around the garden, so maybe that's helping. But it seems like every single thing that we grow, there is a pest particularly happy to invade it. I don't have another way to put that, but it's irritating to me that everything we grow will have somebody that wants it just as much as we do. So let's see. So nobody's gonna try anything very exciting next year? No, nothing exciting. I'm very crooked in here. Let's see if we can. Okay. I will grow rutabagas again. Really love those. I think I'm going to try a different variety. These got so big, and I haven't cut into any of them yet. But I'm scared they're going to be a bit hollow or woody, which you know how that is. That's not what we're looking for. Or I just let them go too long. But I always felt like rutabaga was one of those things you could kind of plant it and leave it in the ground till you wanted to pull it. I was hoping to leave them out till after a little bit of a frost, but I don't think I have the room because I noticed that my garlic grew larger in a raised bed than it did in my ground. And I think some of that is because we have an in-ground bed at the back of our garden, which is like 70 feet by 16 feet. So it's a big area. But the soil has not been cared for. I mean, we've been adding some compost to it, but not like the beds, which are incredibly fertile and like, I mean, the ground is just, it'll stay together, but it's very crumbly. It's just beautiful. Uh, oh yeah. Oh, Nancy, you're gonna love them. Already bought some seeds for muncher cucumbers. Yes. Uh, and the nice thing about them is, cucumbers can be kind of like a zucchini. If you wait a day, sometimes they can, well, they're not quite as bad as zucchinis, but if you wait a day and they go past their prime, so to speak, munchers seem to be able to stay nice and tender. So yeah, that's my go-to. I started growing a Persian cucumber this year, which quite honestly looked a lot like my muncher. Uh, Muncher really prolific. Oh, I'm so glad. I hope you're going to enjoy that one. Uh, don't know about exciting, but I'm planning to fill the allotment with more flowers and herbs in the edges of each bed for pollinators. I think that's very exciting because I think, I was talking with Shelmar, who is my gardening. I have to figure out what I really call her. Um, but she does the things that I cannot do. And uh, we were talking about, wouldn't it be fun one year just to grow herbs and flowers? So I'm kind of right there with you, Margaret. I think for a change, throw in a cucumber plant here, a tomato plant there, but just like go full out herb garden. I think, first of all, I think it would be successful. It's hard not to grow herbs well, correct? They even like it a little on the dry side, most of them, and flowers. So anyway, I got this order of tulips, so I have to figure out I wanted like big, huge splashes of color, and I think in the garden, not like at the front of the house. I already have some at the front, so I think I'm going to do this big, huge swaths of color and see how that looks. Okay. So, anything else, guys? I will again, we'll be here next week Wednesday, and I might start moving. I've talked about this too last week. I think I'm going to be starting to move this uh, to a Wednesday rather than a Thursday. Uh, oh, Mel is. Oh wait, Rob is. I'm only going to grow two. Oh wait, here we go. Just a minute. Rob is only going to grow two different types of sweet peppers next year. Yeah. So it sounds like you've maybe had a good hot pepper year, like I have. I don't need any more dried spice, and uh, we've got a couple that we are. Oh, I'm searching for words today that we're fermenting. Uh, so I think I will have more hot sauce probably than I need. Um, Yeah, I'm with you though. That might be a good idea. I really think I'm not going to grow hot peppers next year. Maybe the one that my son-in-law likes, but maybe not because I think he's got a lot for me this year too. We'll see. He might have regretted that he told me he liked that one because maybe he'd like something different. I let a parsnip go to flower and radicchio too. Yes. Hope I don't get too many self-seeders. Well, I have found if you let well parsnips, I don't know. They're hard to they're hard to pollinate or hard to get going on purpose. So I'm not sure that they're going to self seed really well, but the radicchio might. Uh, yeah. Uh, yeah. I had alyssum. If any of you grown sweet alyssum, I grew that a year ago in my winter sowing. You know the jug sowing, and then I planted it in a bed, and then it has self seeded every year. So I kind of pulled it out this year, hoping that I got it before the seeds started forming because I want to rework that bed a little bit. But I mean, it was like all around the border of the bed. It was beautiful, but it was taking up a little more room than I was willing to give it. So, but that is an incredibly prolific little plant. Yeah, very nice. So I want to do some fun things with these tulips. So if any of you have any creative ideas, I would sure appreciate them. Uh, I have a like a medium purple, a hot pink. So it's kind of a darker purple, hot pink, and then I have some little ones that I think I'm going to put out in the front with my lavender, which is doing remarkably well. It's looking beautiful, and kind of the look I wanted is starting to happen. So very happy with the lavender in the front of the house. Okay, Rob is also planting some hot chilies. Okay, my problem, I think I had 20 pepper plants this year, 25. That's way too many. And I don't know if you are like I am, but I start more than I need because you never know, something might not start and then they turn into these beautiful little seedlings and I don't want to dispose of them, and I end up planting them, but that also means that I end up with way more of certain things that I need. So I need to somehow become a little more disciplined at that. We do have a stand across the street. One of the homeowners has you know, if you need seeds, take them. If you have too many, leave them. If you want produce, take it. So I think I need to become a little more engaged with that and commit to sending all of my extras across because it becomes a jungle. So we have kind of a pepper jungle right now, and yeah. Oh, Leon's had a pretty good year. Like that. It's oh, my bad. It's this little Apple Pencil. This year was pretty good for me, so I want to replicate as much as possible, but need to reconsider where things go into the beds. The chicks damaged a lot of lettuce with, yeah, their small pecks over time. Yeah, I think chickens are like a two-edged sword, aren't they? that they're very helpful to have in the garden. And yet, they can also do their little bits of damage. But I like the idea, like if you have something that's not doing really well, you can give it to the chickens, and the chickens will eat it. And that's kind of nice. They're like your little living composter. Uh, and then of course you get the eggs if you just have layers. So yeah, I think we can't have them where I am, but we could. Actually, they changed an ordinance and said we could. And then, like the day later, they said we couldn't. So, oh, lemon drops. Hi, Joe. Glad you made it. Nope. Here we go. Still got lemon drop chilies ripening in the greenhouse. Yes. Lemon drops, I like they've got a lot of heat. I like those. I did not grow those this year. I grew aji pineapple, which look a lot like a lemon drop, and aji mango. So they're currently in the freezer. So I'm gonna make an unfermented hot sauce with those using pineapple and mangoes. So I'm hoping I'm hoping for even more of like a chutney consistency. So I don't know. I'm going to play around with it and see. But hey, good for you, Joe. It's still nice to have something happening. But I do like to. Okay, here's where he sows double the amount that's needed, which I definitely a lot of times will do, and give them away or compost. That's where I have a hard time taking a beautiful little plant and just throwing it in the compost. But I realize I need to become more disciplined to do that, so that what is in my garden is much more productive. So I'm going to try to do that. My carrot, all bets are off with me, but I'm going to try. Oh, I will. Joe's saying, will I do a video? Yeah, because honestly, once we get back to Michigan, which we just passed the 2 weeks on our road trip yesterday. So we have 2 more weeks and we are home, and I have all kinds of things in the freezer that need to be processed and made into good stuff for the winter. So there'll be a lot of, I'm going to say cooking / preserving videos. Oh wait, yes, I did make a note of that I have to do one on cowboy candy. So I will, I promise. And if I don't, call me out. Because that's absolutely my intention. Oh, okay. There's a new world record hottest chili. It is called Chili X. Now I'm all for hot chilies and sweet chilies, but there is part of me that's like, okay, so it's so hot you can't even, it'll burn your tongue off. I don't get it. I really don't get it. Why we grow these, Carolina Reapers and all this just horrific stuff, because you can't eat them, and you have to water them down so much with other things. And I'm not even sure they have much flavor. There's so much heat in them. And I feel like with a hot pepper, part of the fun is getting, I mean, like with a habanero, it's a very hot pepper, at least to my palate, uh, but it has wonderful flavor. So I don't mind doing things to that uh, that might tone down the heat but enhance the flavor. But I'm not even sure uh, any of these other ones have a whole lot of flavor to them. Mel is asking, I froze my jalapenos. Can I still make cowboy candy? Absolutely. Absolutely. Uh, yeah, because we're not doing any, there's no fermentation. And that's really the thing that freezing halts or stops. Like if you freeze your peppers, you cannot start a ferment with those. You can add them to a ferment that's going on, but you can't start one. So, but this is a cowboy candy is just ingredients put together. So, yep, you're cool. Okay. We're at about 46 minutes here. Anybody got anything, any questions, anything you'd like to add? I'm hoping that I'm not hoping, we will have a guest next week. I'm trying, now that I can do my usual streaming in a mobile situation, this won't be a problem. So next week, we'll move to Wednesdays, and that will be our last week here in San Francisco, our last day actually in San Francisco. And then hopefully I would love to try to do a live from the Grand Canyon if that's possible. The problem with some of those middle of, the national parks, there's not very good coverage because, it's the middle of a national park. There's not cell towers out there. Oh, Joe is asking, have we all been seeds shopping? Well, all of you, please chime in if you have been. I have not been doing a lot yet because the new season catalogs don't come out until November-ish here. And I want to go through all my current seeds and kind of be brutal and go, yes, I'm going to move these forward. I'm going to, take the ones, I take a big box over to my neighbor at her stand every year of seeds that I tried, didn't like, or whatever. I ordered 2 of them and I don't need 2 of them, and I take them over there. So I'm going to be a little more brutal this year and try to, I know I'm going to grow less tomatoes this year. I had a good crop of tomatoes again. I have plenty of it canned up in ways that we use it. So I think after I'm done with processing those last that are in the freezer, I'm not sure, I might plant a plant or 2 and not my usual, 26 plants. And might only grow sweet peppers, a couple plants of sweet peppers. So yeah, I really want to hone in the garden this year. Leanne saying only one sale so far. I get going usually right after Christmas. Yeah, I think, now that I think about it, I did catch a few of the year-end sales, but I didn't. It was more like my things I grow all the time. It wasn't anything new and exciting. Uh, oh, and Rob is saying that DT Brown has a pound a packet today. So if you can order from DT Brown, apparently they've got a good sale going on. So let's see, anything else? So anyway, I think for the winter, because we can't do a ton of gardening, that I will be doing a lot of cooking videos and preserving videos. Oh, wow. Nancy Hoffman saw a praying mantis catch and eat a honeybee. Wow. Well, I probably will watch that. I will try to. I just love honeybees, and we seem to have more yellow jacket waspy things than honeybees this year. Uh, and honeybees are really big. Okay, I might have to watch that. Uh, yes, I will look for that, Nancy. Thanks. Wow, that's pretty cool. That's like National Geographic right in your backyard, right? That's awesome. Uh, I think I'm assuming, Anna, that you are in the UK because we don't get gardening magazines like that. Um, so we never used to get like freebies when we bought a magazine. So I'm sorry, but I think magazines are, with everything being so, um, oh my word, I've been searching for words a lot today. I think I have been. So digital, I think it's going to be hard to keep magazines going, particularly when they're so niche. I mean, that's a definite niche. I mean, gardening magazines are, well, but maybe not in the UK. You guys garden so much more than we do. Have you ever been sent seeds? Have you ever, how, no, have you ever sent seeds to New Zealand? Not asking you to, but as I don't think they'd make it through our biosecurity. It's more that I know you send seeds globally and was just curious if you tried. No, Locke, I haven't. And really, the only reason I probably haven't was that I hadn't known anybody in New Zealand, or I probably would have tried. Um, yeah, no, I love sending seeds, so we can give it a try. I'm definitely open to trying that. Uh, yeah. Although, did I tell you last week when we came into California, they actually stopped us? I mean, I thought it was a toll booth because, toll roads and whatever. And it was, do you have any uh, bio? No, that was not the word they use. First of all, do we have any produce in the car? And do we have any growing, any plants in the car? And I thought that was such an interesting thing. I've never seen that. And I thought, California really takes what they do seriously over here. They want to keep what's in California, and what's not outside. So, they do put up where they talk, because this was stopping everybody on the way in. So I thought it was very interesting. Very interesting. So, okay, guys, we're coming up on the hour here. This always goes so quickly. Not always sure what I'm even going to talk about, but I managed to ramble for almost an hour. So, again, next week, it will be Wednesday. I will have a guest, and we will say farewell to San Francisco for the time being. And yeah, have a good week. I think we're in the kind of clean up the gardens, make them look tidy, starting to put beds to sleep for the winter, or at least, we're probably not growing in every bed over winter. So anyway, enjoy, take good care, and I will see you all next week. Oh, where am I? Can I stop this? Oh, there it is. Okay. Bye now.